Hello, what we're going to be talking about again today ABD tools is this setup here. Most of you recognise it's obviously a radiator valve connected to a standard radiator. A lot of you guys out there will have this in your own home. So on the radiator valve, which we're talking about today, you have the radiator valve made up of two parts. One is the valve body, which is this part here, and the piece that screws into the spigot on the radiator is called the tail piece. And obviously they have to be connected together. And to connect them together is this nut here called the union nut or the captive nut or the connector nut. It's usually called the union nut. So how it works, you screw the tail piece in, put your valve in situ, connect that to there, and then just tighten up the nut to pull it in and cause a seal. Simple. Now sometimes you need a hell of a lot of pressure on this nut here. So one, get it to connect, or certainly if it's been in a few years you want to take it off to disconnect. I've used sometimes massive pressure just to undo that nut there. Now one of the problems that will arise when you're trying to put pressure on this nut here is this valve, which is perfectly vertical now, will tend to want to spin. So it's vertical and it will tend to want to turn and make it not vertical kind of thing, for want of better words. So what will happen there is this this connection here, the copper into the bottom of the valve, this connection can become like dislodged or move, and then you'll end up with a leak here. So it's absolutely critical that you keep this vertical. Now most people will use, to undo the nut, they use something like this, like a massive shifting spanner or adjustable spanner. No problem there, no problem at all. So you adjust that, put it on there and turn it up or down depending what you want to do to either connect or disconnect. Now like I said, some of these can be super tight, especially when you're undoing, so you must hold this. Now how I used to do it in the early days is take the cap off and use something like this, which is called water pump pliers or grips. Great tool actually for when you're doing all the plumbing jobs. Really useful. So how you would do it, how I would do it is open it to the right opening, put it over the top like that, and grip it like that to hold it. Then put your spanner on, and then use the pressure and hold the valve steady as you're doing it. So you try and do an equal pressure. That's okay. It's not ideal. Two problems. One, this can slip off. It's happened to me where it just slips off like that. And secondly, which will happen almost every time, is these are designed with teeth on there and there. That's what they're designed to do, to grip things. The problem on here is they will damage the chrome. I've done it. It's not pretty. So it'll damage the chrome. So what some people would say, yeah, we'll put a cloth over it. Yeah, you can put a cloth over it, that's fine. But it makes it a little bit more woolly. It's not a solid grip. And you can't really see what the valve's doing because the cloth's over it. You can't see if it's moving or whatever. So it's not ideal really. So what we do at ABD Tools is, first of all, we do provide a rad spanner, which is this here. And if you'll see there's two sides to it. There's a big side and a small side. The bigger one is the 3/4, called 3/4 BHP, which is for these. They are quite rare. They are rare, more rare, but they do exist. So that will fit perfectly onto there. The smaller size is for the 1/2 inch BSP connector. You can have that size nut in the middle there, which is more common, and that's for that. You can actually use that end as well on any other type of connector in plumbing as well. In fact, you can use the whole tool for other things as well, but it's specifically made for this. Now that's fine. So on top of which we do this other tool, which is this. It's called the rad wrench. And when you first look at it, you think, well, it's a plastic spanner, which it's actually not a spanner. It's a tool specifically designed to hold the valve when you're doing the connecting of the or disconnecting of this nut here. So how it works, you've got the smaller end for the smaller valve and it goes over like that. Now if you push it up, it will hold the valve steady that way. If you push it down, it will hold the valve steady the other way. So I'll just show you I'll tighten this up, I'll put that on there and push it down, which is this down, which is to connect, and pull this up. If I do that, I can use a real decent amount of pressure. I've really pulled on that then. I could do more, but I can't stand in front of the camera. So that's pretty tight now. If you notice, there's no marking to the valve. It will not mark the valve because this is made out of what they call nylon glass fill nylon 66, which is a super tough plastic. You will not break this. People say, well, yeah, it might break. You won't break it. We've not had one break yet, and we've sold about 50,000 of these things. If you look inside there, on all sides, it's nicely radiused, which again just helps to protect the body of the valve. It does a really nice job. So that's for the smaller bodied valves, standard valve. This is more for the TRVs, which is the thicker body valves. So it will handle any type of angle pattern valve, whether it's a TRV or a standard. So that's it. We do supply these together, which is called the rad valve union splitter. We do that together, but that's the main tool. That's the tool you need. Once you use these to hold the valve, once or twice, you will not use anything else, and you've got the valve for life. Very light, throws in your bag, whatever. It's the tool to use. Please don't use these or anything else. But make sure you do hold the valve when you're undoing or tightening this nut here, because you will turn this and cause problems there into a whole new world of pain. You don't want to be doing that. So that's it. It's called the Rad Wrench from ABD Tools, and the Rad Spanner. They both come together as the union splitter, and that's definitely the best tool out there, or tool set out there to use to handle connecting of radiator valves. Maybe the tools. I hope that helps, and good luck in your plumbing, and thanks for watching.